After dark, baby.
Don't do it.
So did you guys actually watch the World Cup draw?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Sorry. I watched it as soon as they actually started pulling names.
Okay. So just the whole theme of it, from regardless of whether they're pulling names or if it's the intro, was just dragged out. The whole thing was just dragged out. You had the like pre whatever, videos and tributes to people who died, blah blah blah. You had Idris Elba talking forever and ever and ever. And then watching the people unscrew those balls.
It looks like it's the hardest thing on earth.
They like play the music. It's like it sounds like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, where it's like dun dun dun, and then they're like still fussing with the ball. I'm like, and then they have to slowly unroll the sheet, and then they look at it and they go, Poland. Like, dude,
it was so bad. Like I don't understand why for pool, for like the first group of teams, why they need to show and go, can you please pull the red ball out of, okay, we know that they're going to be one.
Right.
This is no surprise.
Same with the last teams in every group. Like, oh, can you please pull the last one? Well, the only spot available is 2. So where the fuck do you think they're going? Like, get out of here.
How did we get each 7?
Yeah.
Oh, that must be a misprint. Redo the whole thing over, run it back.
I was kind of confused by that because I wasn't watching Collins. I was just kind of following, and where they put the people's like pots didn't match up with where their groups were. So I figured like everyone in pot A would be like number 1 in their group, and then pot B would be number 2 in their group, so on. And it wasn't that way. So I couldn't follow it. I was very confused.
Yeah, it was an experience. I don't know why I tuned into it. I just wanted to know where the US was going to be, and I ended up watching the whole thing.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
And the other thing that
I was more interested in who was going to be the group of death, and it looks like we have a couple options.
I don't really know if there is one. There's a lot of groups of suck, but I don't think we have a group of death.
I'd say the same thing. I don't think there's a group of death. I think there's just a lot more balanced groups, and there's some tough groups, sure, but there's no like 3 superpower type groups.
Matt, who do you think is the group of death?
There are multiple that I think have arguments. So Group C, I think Group C, Group H, and Group G. Those all look like it could be just kind of a crapshoot of who comes out of it. Because, I mean, with Group C, yeah, Saudi Arabia, nobody's really going to expect them to make a push. But
morning, noon, and night.
But then you look at like a team like Poland. Well, they could be really good or really bad. Mexico could be really good or really bad. So could Argentina. You look at Group G, Brazil could shit the bed again. Serbia has some decent players that can make a run. Cameroon, Switzerland, same thing. Group H, Portugal could shit the bed if everything runs through Ronaldo. Ghana is a little bit, Ghana and South Korea are kind of sleepers. Uruguay, they might be the best team in that group. So I think that there are a lot of question marks between all those teams. I don't really see much from anybody else. Spain, Germany, yeah, it's going to be a marquee matchup. That'll be fun to watch. I mean, Group D, France is going to win that. Like, won't even be close. Belgium, Canada, Morocco, Croatia. I really don't expect Canada to do a whole lot. Morocco, I don't think Ziyech is playing, right? So that immediately takes a lot of wind out of their sails. Croatia is always a tough team, but I don't see anything like glaring. So I would say between Group C, Group G, and Group H, those would be my contenders for group of death.
The only one I think Group H, yeah, Group H is a tricky one. I think depending on who gets out of the Euro playoff, Group B could be. And I've seen a lot of people disagree with me on that. I think England is England. They have talent, but we've seen historically that when it comes to the big stage, they're not necessarily up to par. Iran is always a sneaky good team. The US,
You don't know what you're getting.
depending on the day, could beat everyone or they could lose to everyone. And then you might have Ukraine, who's going to have the backing of the world. You might have Wales, who is good, or you might have Scotland, who is going to be playing in their first World Cup in however many years, and they're going to be motivated.
Billy G.
I don't like our draw, but I'm sure we'll get into that in a little bit.
We talked about it earlier, but like Group E is kind of like Japan's always put up a fight as well, and I don't know who could come out of that playoff, but Germany, Spain, Japan,
Costa Rica, New Zealand for Group E.
Costa Rica's a solid team as well. So I mean, if Costa Rica gets in there, that's it's a fiery group as well. So I like that it feels that the superpowers are less powerful and that the sneaky teams are more sneaky this year. And in a World Cup that some of the world will be protesting for, it actually might be a pretty decent World Cup. It seems like it's more even than it's been in prior years. And like you said it, Collins, the US could win their group or they could not qualify. Like either are kind of plausible scenarios. Who knows?
I think we can all agree that the worst group, like the absolute shittiest group, Group A, that is just tragic.
Yep.
Well, let's break that one down because we're going group by group. We're going to make our picks, and we'll start with Group A because that was my initial thought too. That Group A was the group of suck, and then I realized that you have the champions of Africa, you have the Dutch who are always good, you have the host who's going to have solid backing, and then Ecuador. Ecuador's not going to do anything, but I don't know if it's necessarily a bad group. I think it's a sneaky group.
Competitive, sure. Like the games in the group will be good, but do you expect anyone after that group stage to go on? And I don't think the answer is yes.
I don't know because they play group. I think A plays B in the knockouts, right?
I don't know.
It'd be first in A plays second in B. So you might have like a Senegal US knockout game or Netherlands US game, or you might have England Senegal, which would be a hell of a game. I'd be excited to see that one. So I guess I just kind of gave who my picks are. I think honestly, I think Edward Mendy is going to be fantastic for Senegal. I think Senegal wins the group. I think Netherlands takes second. Please tell me you have Qatar going to the knockout stages.
So I'm thinking about two things.
Ooh.
Netherlands hasn't been good in a couple years. They've really kind of hit a slump. Yeah. I mean, I know that they have some good players. I don't.
We got your boy De Ligt.
I think Ecuador could do a little bit of surprise damage. But then that brings me to the second point. It is Qatar. We all know the back end bullshit that's been going on. I wouldn't be shocked to see some sort of bullshit like a VAR call in a game where they need a draw or they have to win in order to move on. I wouldn't put it past FIFA. And I think that's a valid statement. As sad as it is to say.
It is. However, I think with Qatar, I don't think they're going to be in that position because I think they're going to lose badly to
Yeah.
Senegal. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they're
Yeah.
going to be like within striking distance to get that call. I hope to God they're not.
Right. But that's the thing I'm taking into consideration. Like, they shouldn't be even in the conversation. But you don't know. I'm going to go Senegal 1, Ecuador 2.
Ooh, cutting out
I
the
thought
dud.
about that. I don't hate that pick.
Okay. Let's go to Group B here. Again, Group A,
Ooh.
Parker and I both had Senegal, Netherlands. Matt was Senegal, Ecuador. Group B, we've got England, the Islamic Republic of Iran, United States of America, and the Euro playoff winner. The Euro playoff winner will be either the Ukraine, Wales, or Scotland. I honestly think this is probably one of the trickiest groups, and we've already talked about how the U.S. could win it or not win a single point. Parker, let's start with you on this one. Where are you sitting at with Group B?
I'm going to talk about the important stuff, which is I think the loser has to buy Slipknot #9 for the other two people. That's the bet for this. As in,
Deal.
like each correct pick is 1 point. So if you have Senegal 1 and they take second, 0 points. But if Senegal finishes first, you get 1 point. We all get 1 point. Most points on the group stage. Whoever finishes last has to buy Slipknot #9 for the others.
I'm in.
Okay.
Perfect.
I like it.
That said, I'm picking the United States to win and the Euro playoff to take second.
Whoa. Hold on. I need to hear some explanation on that. That's too far out there.
It's bold.
That's one way to put it.
However, plausible. I actually, to be honest, I don't think that England doesn't go through at some point, but I also don't put it past them to not. Like, England is England, and they have a tendency to underperform. And when the spotlights are on them, I don't see them kind of coming to play. The U.S. can kind of find fire in a bottle sometimes and run with it. So I'm gonna go bold here. I won't be bold throughout the rest of this whole thing, but you got to pick some upsets in the March Madness of the World Cup, and I think that this would surprise me if it happened. But also, like you mentioned, Collins, that the Euro playoff, the teams that are in there, they're solid teams. Whoever kind of comes out of that, if it's Scotland or Ukraine, like, kind of back them. So I'm going with it. I'm going with the momentum.
Matthew, what says you?
I don't know. My mind's going a million miles an hour right now. It depends on who the Euro playoff team is. I could easily see Wales coming in and taking second. I could see Ukraine taking second. I don't think Scotland would make it past. I'm going to go England 1. I'm going to go US 2.
And I think that's probably the safe pick. I think that's what a lot of people are picking out of this group. But I don't know. Like you said, I hate that the playoffs aren't determined when they make this draw. I don't know. I have enough complaints about FIFA, so I'll just leave it there. But like you said, I don't think Scotland makes it out of the group if they get in. So I don't think they make it in. Wales and Ukraine, I think that's a toss-up. The thing is under yes, Park.
In fairness, we could always go back once these get finalized and revise.
Nope.
No?
Nope.
No?
It is decided.
No?
So here's the thing. Under Jurgen Klinsmann, The US beat Wales, the US beat Ukraine, the US beat Scotland. And I had full faith that they could do it in a World Cup. Greg Berhalter hasn't taken the team overseas. He hasn't scheduled decent friendlies. I know the talent level of this team. I know the talent potential of this team, but I don't trust that they can do it against those kind of second and third tier European teams. I'm going England 1 and Euro playoff number 2, either Wales or Ukraine. I don't think the US is going to be ready because they've been so focused on CONCACAF. And I'm going to blame Greg Berhalter, and he still won't be fired.
I was going to say, I could easily see that happening as well. It's fun because now I get to cheer for the US instead of root against them. But
all right, so let's turn to Group C here. We got Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, and Poland. I'll start this one off, and I'm just going to go ahead and say Leo Messi and Argentina are going to win the group. I think they have too much class for the rest of the group. And Matt, I hate to say it, but I don't think Lewandowski can carry Poland through this one. I'm going to go Mexico, which it pains me to say. It pains me to say Mexico's going through, especially with how poor they've been in qualifying. But in the big stage, they always seem to turn up. So I'm going Argentina, Mexico.
Yeah, I'm going to go Argentina 1. I'm going to go Poland 2. I think that outside of Lewandowski, right, I think that they've been able to still make themselves a competitive team. And it's comparing styles against like Poland and Mexico. Like Mexico is very run. And Poland seems to have, at least in watching like them in Euros, a little bit more composure. I think that will do better against a team like that could be very chaotic and sporadic. So I'm gonna go Poland at 2, and I'm gonna say Lewandowski leads goal scoring after the group stage.
You know who would make a good? It's gonna sound terrible, but it's just the way it comes here. You know who would make a good Mexican international from Poland? Would be Matty Cash.
I feel
like he would fit right in on that Mexican national team.
you know who would make a good Mexican?
But Butterscotch, that's who.
Yeah.
Mantequilla.
Oh. Collins, I agree with you, but I've got them flipped. I see Mexico winning the group and Argentina in second. It's very much less analytical and more of a gut feel. Matt, I appreciate your analytics. I don't have it to back it up.
I don't either. I completely forgot what I said.
No, I think like you said, Collins, Mexico kind of come to play the big stage, and I could see Argentina kind of lifting the foot off the gas, not necessarily concerned about winning the group. So who wins the group is sometimes secondary to just kind of qualifying and moving on. So sometimes the situation presents itself to have a little bit more of a finicky result.
All right, so moving on to Group D here. We've got France, the Intercontinental Playoff number 1, which is going to be Peru against the winner of United Arab Emirates and Australia. And then we have Denmark and Tunisia. Parker, why don't you start this one off?
France, Denmark. I think this one's. I don't think Tunisia and then UAE or Australia or whoever else.
Peru.
Yeah, I don't see it. France, Denmark.
Same. This is one of the most obvious ones, I think.
I'm a fan of the French national team, and just having seen them in World Cups past,
Oh,
when
you're not going to do it.
when they are expected to do well, they do not do well. I still think they're going to advance out of the group, but I don't think they're going to win the group. I'm going to give Denmark the group, France second.
For you. Good for us, Matt.
We hope.
All right, group E: Spain, Germany, Japan, and the winner of IC2, which is Costa Rica versus New Zealand. This is one of those ones where we talked about could be a tricky group. Matt, what do you think?
I'm torn between who to put at one, because Spain has a young team, right? They're coming in with a very young team. They basically shit the bed the last World Cup. With all their experience, they kind of shit the bed in the Euros too. I'm gonna go. I think Germany has too much experience, so I'm gonna go Germany, Spain.
I'm going to go the exact same for exactly the same reasons you said. I think Spain is good, but I think Spain is young. We were joking on the actual pod about Timo Werner. He'll score a hat trick against Spain just to smite us. Parker?
Wondering if I should change my pick now. I've got Spain winning the group, but I'm curious of does Germany not make it out? And I like everything about me says that they have to, but I wonder if I should pick against it, like pick against my gut, pick against the obvious pick.
Yeah, let those drinks keep flowing, man.
I'm like, oh yeah. I don't think it can. It has to be Germany. It's just like let it be known that I'm questioning this. So if it doesn't happen, that I was on the fence about this.
I'll give you a bonus.
Germany
point.
doesn't get out. If Germany doesn't get out, like we will revisit this and yeah.
If Germany doesn't get out, we'll give you 2 points.
I'll take that. Germany X2.
All right. So Group F here. Parker, you're going to start this one out. We got Belgium, Canada, Morocco, and Croatia.
Yeah, I think it's Belgium and Canada.
Canada.
Yeah.
Okay.
The darlings of CONCACAF. I think they put it together. I think they get out. Because it's not like, I mean, Morocco is not the strongest team and Croatia is not the strongest team. I think Canada actually has a solid squad that can compete. I mean, they've shown it not just like lightning in a bottle one match. They've showed it across a full CONCACAF qualifying that they together a solid team that's disciplined and can hurt you on the break. So
Matt, what says you?
Belgium 1, Croatia 2. Croatia is going to have too much experience. They've been there. They know what to expect. They do have some real good talent. You're talking about a midfield of, Modric and Kovacic. Like, that's scary. I think that they'll be able to put it together. Like I said, they have the experience. Canada doesn't. And yeah, the darlings of CONCACAF, as Parker so eloquently put it. The only problem with that statement is CONCACAF. We've seen historically that CONCACAF teams don't do that well in the World Cup. they maybe make it out of the group stage, and that's about all she wrote. So I think for that you have to go Croatia.
I'm also going Belgium, Croatia. I like that Croatian midfield, but I want it on the record. I don't need any bonus points here. I want it on the record that Belgium and Croatia are going to be level on points. It's going to come down to goal differential. I think Croatia could win the group, but I don't think they're going to.
Write it in. I want to subnote that.
Asterisks. All right. So I think it's my turn to start. Group G.
Yep.
We got Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, and the gross family favorite, Cameroon. Yeah, all right. Here's the thing. Brazil has to be number one. Always, regardless of who's in their squad, regardless of how well they're playing, Brazil's number one. I live in a very Serbian community here, and I hope to God Serbia advances. I hope that they take second, because it is going to be a party up in here, and I'm going to love it. So I'm going Serbia number 2.
Brazil 1. This is a bit of a dumpster fire for number 2. There's no clear cut. You can see all 3 teams beating the others. Switzerland.
Yes. Give it to me. Just write it in. You know you want to.
Cameroon 1.
No.
Serbia 2.
Come on. Brazil winning the group. Cameroon, give it to me. I'll take it. This will be our group of death, where we're all different on take second. I'll take the Cameroonians all day, every day.
Twice on Sundays.
Does Pierre Weibo still play for Cameroon?
I don't think he does, but Samuel Eto'o is like an advisor to the club. So his very wise leadership is, you can't really even like account for it. I mean, have you guys thought about Eto'o's leadership? Easy. I should be putting him number 1. Easy.
I tried to help you out, but you said no.
All right, Parker. Group H: Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, South Korea.
Yeah.
That's a great way to start. Yeah.
I'm looking at these like kind of in real time. I didn't pay too much attention to the draw when it happened, so I didn't really have prepared thoughts for these. I'm gonna say Uruguay, Portugal.
Do we know if Diego Forlan still plays for Uruguay?
I sure hope so. I'm banking my chips on that.
I like it. Matt, what do you think?
So I'm torn on Portugal as far as 1 and 2, because either Ronaldo is going to lead them or he's going to be their downfall. It's a flip of a coin, right? We've seen him be able to put a team on his back when they won the Euros, and we've also seen what's happened when they only rely on him and it doesn't work out. I'm gonna go Portugal 1, Uruguay 2. Ronaldo's last World Cup, you got to know he's going to go all out. he's got a better supporting cast around him with more experience. And when you include like Bruno Fernandez and that, you have John Moutinho, you're looking at, is please tell me Pepe is still going to be the center back. He's good for at least one red. So yeah, I just think that I think Portugal and Ronaldo's final World Cup send off, I think that they're going to show out.
I don't know. I don't think Wolves plus Ronaldo is good enough to get out of this group. Looking through my picks already, it's pretty Euro heavy. So this is going to be my group that I don't pick a European team to get out. I think you're going to see Ghana come out as group winner because we Ghana win, and South Korea number 2. With what's his name, Son from Spurs, lighting it up.
Wow.
Doesn't Arsenal have someone from South Korea as well?
Couldn't tell you. I know nothing about Korea.
I think South Korea has like 2 Premier League, like, I don't want to call them stars, but like decent players right now.
Doesn't Wolves have somebody from South Korea? Isn't he like their leading scorer this season?
Hold on, I'm bringing it up. South Korea national team. Oh yeah, they're not very good.
Nope, picks are locked in.
Nope, they got Son. They've got a couple players in Germany and a player in France. And that's it.
I'm trying to think of who's the player for Wolverhampton.
All right, so while Matt's looking that up, to recap here, we got Group A. All of us have Senegal winning the group. Parker and I have Netherlands. Matt has Ecuador taking second. Group B gets a little hectic. Parker with USA and the Euro playoff. Matt with England and USA. Me with England and the Euro playoff. Group C, Parker, Mexico, Argentina. Matt, Argentina, Poland. Me, Argentina, Mexico. Matt and Parker agree on Group D, France and Denmark. I have those switched. Group E, we all have Spain and Germany. It's just a matter of what order. Parker wants it known that Germany may not qualify. Group F, we all have Belgium winning the group. Let's see, me and Matt have Croatia. Parker has Canada. Group G, we all have Brazil. We all have a different second place team. Parker has Cameroon. Matt has Switzerland. I have Serbia. And then Group H, Parker has Uruguay, Portugal. Matt has that flipped, and I have Ghana, South Korea. I don't like my picks, but they're gut picks. So I may owe you guys some Slipknot number 9.
So the player from Wolverhampton is Hwan Hee-chan, and he is South Korean.
He has not been called up.
Well, he better be. So I'm pretty sure he's the top or one of the top scorers for Wolverhampton this season.
Is he eligible then to be called up for Portugal because he plays for Wolves?
I think maybe on his father's side.
Ah, gotcha.
We know where Cho is playing this year. Is he going to play for Ghana or the?
Yeah, that's why they're going to win the group. Cho's going to show out
or get injured.
It hasn't been decided.
Ball possession, one of the two.
It's Cho and one other player I saw were defecting. I can't remember who the second one was.
Boy, talk about a player that's like fallen out of grace for us.
Yeah.
Big time.
So what are the matchups after? So it's A versus B, C versus D, E versus F, G versus H?
I think that's what it is, but let me double check here. Yes, so it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So do we want to do a bracket here too?
We might
I
as
think
well.
we do I think we do a bracket once it's just decided. Like once the everyone's been slotted, then we do a March Madness style bracket.
Okay, that's fair. All right. Well, we got anything else for Pot After Dark? Let's.
So it wouldn't be Pot After Dark without our favorite game,
Gun to your head.
Gun to Your Head.
Yeah.
Without, obviously, just by looking at groups, whatever. Who's winning? And we don't have to lock these set in stone, but your initial thoughts, who is winning? Parker, you can go with Cameroon if you want, but that's going to be a very bold prediction.
I was going with Italy.
I've got my money on North Macedonia. It's worked out well for me in the past.
I heard the U.S. Virgin Islands are pretty good this year.
Same with Fiji.
All right, I got my pick locked in.
Parker, who you got?
I want to make it known that your picks are locked in as well. I'm going with Brazil.
This is just by looking at it. Where this isn't bracket style. It'll be separate of that, but just your initial
Brazil.
Ooh.
Argentina.
Because I think Brazil gets out of their group easy, and then the crossover between Brazil and Group H relatively easy. So in terms of like a powerhouse going through to the quarters, like I think Brazil has as easy of a cakewalk to there, and then put them up against anyone. They've got experience. They've got attack.
Yeah, I think the exact same thing for Argentina. Do I really believe Denmark's going to lead the group over France? No. So I think Argentina's going to be playing Denmark, and I think, this is Leo Messi's probably last World Cup. I think you have a lot of firepower on that team. Had a lot of firepower on that team for a long time. And Parker, you talk about Eto'o being an advisor for Cameroon. Argentina's got Sergio Aguero as an advisor, and so you can't discount that. So I think this is finally the year Messi gets it, and I think he rides off into the sunset. Matt, please say USA.
I'd say Germany.
I thought about it.
Poland.
So when you talk about that, I think England has probably the easiest path. Probably the easiest path through, right? They finish top. Who are they playing? According to us, Netherlands or Ecuador. And you look at Group A, again, not exactly a powerhouse of a group, not a lot of big powerhouse names. So I think that's going to be more of a cakewalk than Brazil would be. I just can't trust England when it matters. Like, I just can't. I even if they make it to the semis, no, I can't. With all the talent that they have, I can't see it.
Wait, I thought you were making the case that England was your pick.
No, I'm walking through my train of thought.
Even when England is in the finals in a penalty shootout against Italy for the Euros, they still shit the bed.
Yeah. It's coming home.
Didn't.
No, it went to Rome.
I'm gonna go.
Home.
I'm gonna go with the repeat. I think France does it. I think with the way that you have all that talent and you have finally a striker who is more than in form with Benzema, right? Giroud didn't even have a shot on goal, and they still won. Or Olivier Giroud in the last World Cup, I don't think he had a shot on goal, and they still won the World Cup. And he was considered to be a better striker than Karim Benzema. But now you have Benzema playing at a ridiculous level. You're going to have Mbappe. You're going to have a midfield of Pogba, Conte. I think Rabiot is French.
He is. Is Pogba good though? I can't.
Yeah, I'm not sure, Matt. What do you think?
He can be hidden. They have enough talent. I think that it'll work. I think that everything in place, it'll work. And I could see them repeating.
They're stacked. They got a great team. Do we want to make our picks like bonus picks, Collins? Like +3 or something?
So no, because I want to fight Matt on this. I want to fight Matt on his France pick.
No, but do we want to like lock in our picks as picks for this game, or do we want to keep it separate?
Nah, we'll keep it separate. Wait till the bracket comes out.
All right, you can fight Matt. I've got to hit the head. So.
All right.
You guys go ahead.
Just real quick, Matt. I think Benzema's been frozen out of France. He hasn't played for him since November of last year.
I think with a World Cup and you're trying to defend, and with the form that he's in, I don't think he can be frozen out. Like if you're trying to pick your team, I don't see how you can not have him.
But how can okay? This is kind of a little off topic, but Olivier Giroud is their second all-time scorer. He's scored in, I think, every international break this year so far. What? And you have Mbappe.
Right. And what I'm saying is that France won the World Cup with Olivier Giroud, I think, attempting 4 shots, and none of them were on target. Or maybe he didn't even attempt a shot, and they still won the World Cup.
I guess I'm not so much fighting you on France winning, or anything like that. But man, I stick with Giroud. I think Giroud's a proven scorer, proven big game guy. I know Benzema does for club. But man, Giroud and Mbappe up top, I think that's your solution.
Yeah, it very well could be. I just see, if you're selecting your team for France, whatever bad blood is between Giroud and Benzema, like, it's for the World Cup. You're gonna put a lot of that shit aside, and at this point right now, I would take Benzema over Giroud right now going into a World Cup, given his form. I would. If you're looking at it strictly, Collins, you're strictly numbers. If you're looking at the numbers for Benzema right now, you would take Benzema over Giroud. Honestly, you would take them both, right? If you could, you would take them both.
Yeah.
And you're going to have Mbappe bombing down either the right or the left anyways, probably the left. Then you have Ousmane Dembele on the right.
I don't know.
Conte, Rabiot. You'll have Pavard on the right. Who would be on the left? Luca Digne. And then your center backs would be Kimpembe?
And Conde.
Yeah. Like,
no, I don't disagree.
You're also going to have Griezmann.
Yeah.
You're also going to have Griezmann if you want him.
I don't disagree. I just having followed the French team for like 15, 16 years now, they avoid conflict. Well, they don't avoid it; they just run into it. That's why Benzema is going to be a bubble player. He's a good player. I think he can score, but I think he's going to be a bubble player because he creates issues within the squad. And he was one of the key people at the 2010 World Cup that saw them from an off the field perspective bow out in the group stage, which was a national embarrassment. And I think he hasn't fully been forgiven for that. So I think they're going to stick with their second all-time in the history of France scorer, a guy who's still doing it at the age of 37 in Serie A in Olivier Giroud. But that said, I agree with you. France is a great team. I think they have a great shot to win the World Cup. I just wanted to pick that.
Grind my gears on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, like if we're looking strictly at club, right? Benzema is putting up a ridiculous year. He just is, and I don't think anybody's questioning that. Which for me then makes it difficult to leave him out if he's playing so well. Granted, the federations are going to do whatever they need to do, but I just have a hard time believing that he would be left out given the way that he's been playing this season.
Drew also has been playing well, though. He hasn't had a bad season.
And France is
Right.
weird. But
Yeah. But again, they have so much talent and depth that, if you look at like Brazil, and you're looking at their team, right? They're going to have Neymar, they're going to have Casemiro, obviously Thiago Silva, Marquinhos, is it and Ederson, right, in goal, I think. But I mean, then you look at, I'm not completely familiar with who the rest of their squad makeup is going to be, but you look at that, and then I'm just not sure that they have the full depth to be able to actually do that day in, day out, be able to rotate players as needed, where I think France has that luxury, and to an extent Belgium does too.
Yeah.
Right.
France is deep.
We know Belgium's deep too. It's just they can't get over that hump. Kind of like England. We know that they're deep, but they just can't get over. They can't get out of their own way. There are a lot of teams that are deep, but I think the only proven team is France.
Weirdly, like Italy, who's not even in the World Cup. Like, Italy's a proven team that can compete at the highest level and even here, which is crazy.
Yeah. Honestly, I think if Sweden were in, we all would have picked Sweden because they have Zlatan.
You would have picked Sweden because they have Zlatan.
Oh, absolutely. Without question.
yes.
I picked Cameroon because they have Samuel Eto'o influence. Exactly.
That's fair. That's fair. Can't argue that. Watch this. Qatar World Cup champions 2022. All VAR decisions.
I'm stopping the podcast. I will quit the podcast if that happens. Done.
Heard it here first. I called it out.
Done.
And then Parker will no longer be joining us.
You guys can continue on.
He's going to take his ball and go home.
They don't have a single player playing in a foreign league on their national team.
It's a miracle run. It was meant to be.
I'm all potted out.